Good morning. It's Monday in the warehouse. Boy, these Mondays seem to come around very fast, don't they? Anyhow, had a lot of good sales this weekend, and I'm going to show you all about them right after this. Alright, welcome back. Like I said, it's Monday morning in the warehouse, and had some good sales over the weekend, and I just thought I'd give you a quick look at what sold and some of the fun stuff. First, I'm going to talk about Nightmare Before Christmas. Several years ago, and I think I've mentioned this before, we bought out the remaining inventory of the movie store, which was basically a DVD rental, DVD sales, movie memorabilia, movie collectibles, that kind of thing. And they've been having a going out of business for several weeks, and on the very last day, we went there. And they'd known we'd been there before. We talked to them, and they said, well, you can have everything else in here for a dime each. Who could resist that? Well, there was lots of odds and ends, but most of all, they had a bunch of Nightmare Before Christmas items. You know, Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas, hard to see with the glare, I know. And we just got so many of them, but we paid a dime a piece for it. And you just can't hardly beat that. It's the gift that keeps on giving, so to speak, for us. And if I can get things going here, I'll show you what's called. Anyway, Nightmare Before Christmas. This is a card game set. Remember, paid a dime for it, sold it for $15. We sell them at least once or twice a month. Still got plenty left. Along the same vein, we sold another one of these Nightmare Before Christmas paperweights. Now, these aren't as expensive as the card games, but we sell them for $5 a piece plus shipping. Remember, it only cost a dime. So, yeah, that's a good sell. The next item that I sold are Boy Scout badges. I got a bag full of them. I think I paid like $5 for the lot, maybe less. And they're for local Boy Scouts, and I sold them for $15. Not a big profit. I think I made like $10 on them, and I sold for $15 plus shipping. So not a big profit, but profit nonetheless, right? So that's sort of a bolo. There's some real rare ones, but if you see Boy Scout patches, especially if you can get a lot of them, grab them. They'll bring you money. The next thing I sold was the video games. I think I mentioned before that I bought a lot of video games for $60 back in June. I sold one for $250 just out of that lot, so obviously I more than made my money back. But out of that lot, I've sold 7 games already for $378. Oh, that can't be right. Yeah, $378. I just looked at my figures wrong. And I've still got $300 worth of games to sell, 9 more games. And the ways these are selling, I have no doubt that they will sell as well. So always look up the video games, especially the older original PlayStation video games, especially Dungeons and Dragons type video games, not so much sports and such, but Dungeons and Dragons, fantasy, look them up. You may be surprised, or maybe not, but look them up anyway. I also sold books and CDs. Sold a Christmas CD. I sold this CD. It's been in my inventory since how long? I have to look on that one. It's been in my inventory since 2009. I finally sold it for $6. So I'm glad to see that go. Anyway, Christmas still sells. Christmas sells year round. So don't forget about Christmas. Xena. I used to love watching Xena. Hercules some. I liked Calista on the Xena show, the blonde, the crazy blonde. So that was it's always fun to watch. But I bought Xena for $5 out of a yard sale. It was part of a Xena lot. I can't remember how many I got. But I bought it for $5. Sold it for $18. So again, plus shipping. So not a bad price. Sold a few books. Books are always profitable. You know that. I keep telling you that. This book right here, I can get the soft-hackled fly addict. I don't know why, but fly fishing books always seem to do good. You have to look them up, obviously. Not everyone does, but fly fishing in general, if you see one, pick it up and look at it. This particular book sold for $65. One book, $65. Paid $1 for it. Yeah. Fly fishing. A book about Macon architectural and historical heritage. I mentioned before. History books about cities, history books about counties, family history books. Always pick them up and look at them. Like I said, this one sold for how much? How much did I say it sold for? Well, this sold for $15. I probably paid 50 cents paperback. 50 cents is usually how much you pay for them. So a very good profit on a very small book that ships quick and easy. Along the same vein, I sold this book. Doesn't have a dust jacket, but it's the history of Upper Back Creek Valley. Again, it's a history book about a certain location. And this is in Frederick County, Virginia. Found it at an estate sale not too long ago. They had lots of books at this estate sale, but I went out onto the little screened-in back porch where no one else was, and I found a box of books. So I started going through the books, and there were some paperback books, but there were several family history and several county history books, and paid $1 for it, and it sold for $25. No one else even looked at it. So always look where no one else is looking. You're bound to find something. Trial techniques, court books. Obviously depends on, how old they are and that kind of thing. But, look at them. Never be afraid to look at the books. This one sold for $41. I paid $1 for it. So again, I sold a cookbook about eating raw. I sold a religious book. And what else did I sell that I don't have for it to show you here? I sold, vintage men's back paper shaving kilt. New in package. And I'll see if I can't put a picture of it up here or up here to show you what it is. But I think I paid $1 for it. Sold it for $10. Finally, I've had it for a while. And it's a kilt that men wear while shaving. Who'd have thought it? Let's see what else. I sold a Barbie Bazaar official collector's magazine, 2 issues. Barbie magazine from 2001. Sold them for $6 plus shipping. Not a big profit, but it's good. And I'll put that up here and here too. Lionel Train Toys catalog reprints. These are just 2 reprints of old Lionel Train catalogs. I knew they might be worth something, but I didn't know how much, but I sold the 2 reprints for $20, and I'll put that up there too. Cool find, cool sell. Oh yeah, I also want to show you my cording candle. I think I've showed these to you before. It sort of works. You spin this around, put the candle in up here, and you can hook it if you want to. But as the candle burns down, it spins around. And when it gets to the bottom, you better leave, or the guy's going to come out with his pitchfork or rake or whatever, however Amish people will run you off. So, real neat find. And I sold this for $15. Found 2 of them at a sale where I found lots of antiques. So, pick up, vintage stuff like this that you don't know what it is. Weird stuff sells, unusual stuff, old stuff sells. You know that, don't have to keep telling you that. But even if you don't know what it is, look it up. It may be worth something. Let's see, was there anything else? Oh yeah, my vintage brass letter opener. It's Lions Club. It's got a Lions Club symbol right here. I don't know if you can see it right there. Lions Club merchandise sells as well. You just pick it up, and this is Manchester Lions Club, and it's for a city club or a county club, whatever that is. And I've had it for a while, but I sold it for $15. I paid probably $0.25 for it, something, not much. So always keep your head on a swivel. I keep telling people that you've got to try to find value where other people are missing it. Look in the old boxes out in the shed or on the back screen porch that no one even is paying attention to. Look behind the picture frames on a bookcase and find a bunch of DVDs about sewing. Everybody else passed them, picked them up, and they're going to sell for at least $100 and some odd once they put in the sets. You just can't you know, look where everybody else is looking. Look under beds if you're in a estate sale. Open drawers. You know, people don't do that. They just wander through and see what's apparent. Look in hidden corners. Look and open the closet. Look in unopened boxes. And just keep your head on a swivel and you'll find stuff. It's just the way to do it, and it's not everybody does it. It'll be your secret weapon, your superpower, so to speak, as you're going out to these sales. Look where no one else is looking. And also, like I've said many times, always check the books. People will overlook the books. They go for more sexy stuff, more vintage stuff, more antique stuff, and that's okay. But they're overlooking a source of revenue that will be very lucrative. I mean, history books, medical books. Now, they're not all going to be, you know, worth a lot of money, but when you find that jewel in the, you know, all the rough stuff, it'll be more than worth your while. So always check the books. ACTB. Don't ever forget that. Okay. I'm going to come back in a little bit. I'm going to show you what I found this weekend, and including a I think, very expensive china set, and I'll show that to you shortly. So until then, we'll talk again.